WCALL is the shorthand for Washington College Academy of Lifelong Learning. And it is part of Washington College, but instead of being student-focused, this is actually the college's outreach to the community itself to provide educational courses for adults in the community. The good news of that means there are no tests. And so it's just, as we say, learning for the joy of it. And as no credits, no tests, so it's just fun. We, had to pretty much pivot on a dime to turn from in-person classes to Zoom classes. And so that happened, not without its hiccups, but people adapted, and our participating members got used to it, and we carried on, and which is a testament to the past chair, Jan Elvin, who did an outstanding job, along with our also amazing administrator, Sue Calloway, to sort of bring that together and logistically make that all happen. We have 19 courses, and that is over, this is for the fall semester only that we're talking about now, because that's what we're signing people up for right now. But there are 2 sessions of 5 to 6 weeks, and we started registering people last Monday, and that goes until August 18th, but in the meantime, on August 10th, we have what we call Showcase, which is basically an opportunity to come to the college. This is going to be at Hotchkiss Hall in the Gibson Center, and hear directly from the instructors about their courses. So you get a better feel for, that sounds, I didn't know what that meant, but it sounds really interesting. And so it's a really, this fall we have a very broad slate of classes. We have from Sunday at the movies to an introduction to quantum theory by a retired professor, of course, right? Who else? But also classes. One interesting thing that caught my eye was a retired professor is doing a sort of retrospective of looking at our behaviors and practices from 1950 to 2020 and how they've changed, and how, for instance, an example was, how do we view community versus individualism? And how has that changed from just post-World War II to 2020? So that seems really interesting. We have the always sold out John Christie review of the last Supreme Court session, who is not a professor, but he is a Supreme Court scholar and has just a wonderful way of explaining difficult legal theories and how the court sort of sorted through them and how things came out the way they did. And he also talks about the court composition and how that's changed and how that may have, influenced the outcomes as well. We also have John Gillespie will be back in the field teaching people about the dragonflies of the Delmarva. We have a course on Greek philosophy and specifically Stoicism as it relates to Greek philosophy. And so all these classes are going to be in person except for a few. I haven't named all 19. There's many more, but that's just a little sample. But so a few will be on Zoom, and otherwise we're going to be back in person, which, I, for one, am delighted and excited about after the year we've had, to be able to come back together. And because a lot of that's just part of the experience, to be able to get together and meet up with your friends and, enjoy a lecture and discussion, and meet new friends. So, that's really part of the experience. I just think it's our greater community, it's just incredible. I mean, we have many of the courses are retired professors, and then there's other people, like I was mentioning John Christie, who people are just steeped in from either their past work experience or just they become so curious about and gotten steeped in a topic. And like Jeff Coomer did a course last spring on Buddhism, pre-pandemic, on Buddhism, that was fantastic, just out of his own scholarship and personal interest. But this is another example. We are at the farmers market, trying to sign people up, tell them about our courses, tell them about Showcase on August 10th, and about our Learn at Lunch opportunities that we're going to have this fall. And we wrote down names of an astrophysicist and former educator who's interested in doing Learn at Lunch courses, an epidemiologist who works on global epidemiological issues, and a guy who is a former U.S. security and counterterrorism expert working in Southeast Asia and the Middle East. I mean, really? I mean, where else does this happen?